Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, today I am delighted to be joined by a classically trained pianist, but more importantly, the wonderful 42nd mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. So nice to have you here. I had no idea that you were a classically trained pianist, by the way.
Yeah, actually, my great grandparents played the piano. My grandparents on my mom's side met in piano school, Eastman School of Music, and my mom played. So I was just kind of continuing the family tradition. And while I've been mayor, I've kept the piano in my office for almost the entire 9.5 years.
Very cool. All right. 9 years being the mayor. Obviously, there are an enormous amount of things that you could not have predicted, pandemics, et cetera. But walking into the job, have there been things that you expected, and did it live up to your expectations?
You know, I'm one of these people who's superstitious and never guesses what it's going to be like. Because I always experience in life, whatever you think something's going to be like, it's going to surprise you and maybe be the opposite. So when I was running for office, I never pictured it. I kind of waited till I was here on day one. Obviously, the building was familiar. 12 years I had served as a local public servant. But coming downstairs from the 4th floor, where the city council offices are, to the 3rd floor here, was almost like going into a different world. Going from the legislative branch to the executive branch, it never ceased and ceases to amaze me just how different the job is and how exciting it is. There is probably 100 decisions a week that equaled the number of big decisions I'd make in a year as a council member. So you have to be ready to run 41 departments. You have to be comfortable being an executive. This was my first executive position, and I loved being an executive because the speed with which you can act is just so different. The way you can set a vision and explain a moment. Those things to me really were totally different than anything I had done, and were not only a surprise, but a pleasant surprise, I'd say 90% of the time.
How is that even physically possible for somebody who is the mayor of a city as large and complex as Los Angeles?
Well, the honest answer is it's impossible. Anybody who thinks they can know everything, learn everything, and do everything won't be successful in this job. I'm ambitious about policy, and I want to know everything. It's my nature. Don't just tell me 2 things I'm going to do as mayor. I want to do things in all 41 departments and multiple things in each. A Green New Deal that has over 460 pledges in it. Looking at understanding how the street paving material gets made and what the impact is on the environment. So I kind of split my time into 4 things. 1, getting briefed. 2, thinking and researching. 3, catching up on relationships, checking in with the city, whether that was a constituent or an important stakeholder or a community. And then 4, recharging your batteries, because you forget, mayors are people too. You have to be able to sustain yourself, learn from, do the things you enjoy, spend time with your family, friends, music, whatever it is.
And then March of 2020, the rug got pulled out from under every plan anybody could have made. There could have been no ability to prep for that. What were your days behind the camera like?
There's 2 jobs to being mayor. One is the things you hope to see and that you want to manifest, your proactive agenda. But then there's the things you hope will never happen, but will, whether it's an earthquake, some sort of disaster, or in this case, which nobody saw on the horizon, a pandemic. Somebody told me early on, be a relentless communicator. Even when you're exhausted and have nothing left, you have to be that communicator with the city. You need to mobilize people that in the worst of times that they are not powerless, that they still have power even on the darkest days. I don't either have much sleepless nights in my life, but there are some nights, especially when I did the projections in my own head of what I thought the fatalities would be, where I couldn't sleep. And what a lot of people don't realize is I spent a lot of my time talking to families who had lost loved ones. And it was something I had to learn to do, and it takes a lot out of you because each night you're surrounded by death, you're surrounded by suffering, and it's something you have to do as mayor all the time, but it comes less frequently than the pace with which we saw, even when you go through some of the most painful and traumatic experiences or witness them. You become a strong person that can find joy in the moment. And so I hope some of that gives me the strength to know that while I saw that suffering, I also saw the most marvelous courage, the most generous love. And that's why every night I would sign off with strength and love to the city. I consciously wrote that because I wanted people to stay strong, and I wanted them to feel that love even when it felt like everything was moving the other way.
You know, as I just mentioned, I didn't know that those were things that you had done. What are some things that you think that people have never even considered when it comes to what it means to be the mayor of LA?
I think it's that informal power. People always, wrongly so, say LA isn't as strong a mayor system as other cities. I reject that in formal political science terms. Most mayors don't have a port, don't have their own airport, can't influence the metro. Sure, we don't have school district under the mayor's office, some health departments and things like that. It's a trade-off, but it's still an immensely powerful position. And what I really love is stopping by like a crew that is paving a street and just getting to know their stories and giving them maybe my challenge coin and knowing that it matters to them that the mayor stopped by. It's not about me, Eric Garcetti, but or that kid that I meet, and I can look her in the eyes and say, and mean it, that I meet a lot of kids, but I see something really special in your eyes. And I know you're gonna do great things in this world. You're gonna contribute to your community. And I know that she'll keep that with her for the rest of her life. And if you lead with humility, whether it's going up to the supervisors and regularly meeting with them, or going with my fellow mayors, I think you don't recognize how much you can do by kind of giving power up. That's actually the exercise of true power.
So, as trivial as this sounds, I'm dying to know, when you have out-of-town guests, what is the first place you take them to?
It might not be the first, but if they can do it, I always insist, come with me for a hike in Griffith Park. If it's the weekend in particular, go up to Mount Hollywood, because you can see the valley where I grew up. You can see the west side. The best time to actually do it is sunset, because the city lays out like a bed of jewels. My favorite moment is twilight, when you can see still the orange of the sunset and the sparkle of downtown and the lights spreading out. I want them to kind of get a sense of LA that surprises them, because everybody has an idea of what LA is. And I think suddenly when they're stuck in nature in the middle of this big city, they're always blown away by that, like Griffith Park. They think of, fine dining is what defines cities, and that they have something they order out of a truck that tastes better than anything they've ever had. So LA is like a place of constant surprises.
Your dad said that, I guess he gave you the advice, and I want to say it correctly. The man entering the office will exit the office the same man. Was he right?
Oh, no, I think what he said is you got to know who you are going in, because it's going to be who you are going out. And I think his point was...
See, I messed it up anyway.
No, but you got
I got it close.
You got it close. And I've probably paraphrased him, so you're paraphrasing me, paraphrasing him.
There you go.
But I think his point was a really good piece of advice is your title doesn't define you. A lot of people get to become an elected official, and they think that's who they are. And they don't know who they are without that title. And so they let the job change them. Like, I'm the mayor. I remember our daughter Maya at school, one of her classmates a few years back came up to me and said, "Wow, you're the mayor, aren't you?" And I said, "No, I'm not the mayor." I said, "That's my job, but I'm Maya's daddy."
Aww.
And so, those things that define us, like you have to know who Eric is, because, some people carry their titles their whole life, but when I'm not mayor, I'm not mayor. People might call me Mayor Eric Garcetti, but there's going to be a different mayor. They should just call me Eric.
Are you glad you did it?
100%. I never wanted to be mayor. That wasn't an ambition I sent forward in my life. Even just before I declared, and I was the last kind of major candidate, I think, to declare when I ran, I didn't even know that I wanted to then. And I'm so glad that I did. Even with all the hardships, with all the sacrifices, I don't care what people say my legacy is. The only thing I care about is I want, and I hope they've felt, them to know how much I love this city. Like, that is all we have. We either love LA and we're loyal to LA, and that unites us, or else we're just going to be a place that happens to be a city. In this place, we can all fight with each other, disagree, beat each other's throats. But I don't think that's who LA is, and it's not for me. And this job only made me fall in love with Los Angeles for all our imperfections and our challenges even more.
Make me cry. Make me cry.
I mean it from my heart.
Thank you. Thank you for all you've done. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on this LA Currents.